Welcome back to Live Now from Fox, and good morning to you if you're just now tuning in. I'm Jeane Franceen. I've been here for the past few hours to give you all of those breaking news alerts, top stories, and of course, the live events of your Tuesday morning. And we continue to rock and roll here on Live Now from Fox.
A man actually walked inside St. Mary Medical Center onto one of the floors and actually went inside and shot someone in the leg.
We talked earlier about snow plows being out and all of that. You can see all of this accumulation right here that's on the ground.
That is so awesome. I want to ask you, what hurdles and obstacles did your grandfather have to face to even get an opportunity to participate in NASCAR? I know he started off driving taxis and then he transitioned doing that. Can you share those stories? Because it wasn't as easy as showing up and saying, hey, I'm a great driver, let me compete. I'm sure he had to face some diversity issues.
Since we last spoke, TBI just arrived in their crime scene unit, but let me tell you why they're even here. Folks who live out here along C Street in the Midtown area say all of this rain is causing their neighbors to move. Let's take a look.
One person is dead and 10 more injured in a pair of shootings Memphis police believe are connected. We really thought we were going to get a lot of accumulation, and thankfully, I was able to drive that day. Look, when you say snow, I'm thinking I can build a snowman. Good morning to you, and thank you so much for waking up with us here on Live Now from Fox. I'm Jeane Franceen here with you on this Tuesday morning. It's July 23rd. I'll be here with you for the next few hours, giving you all of those breaking news headlines, top stories, and of course, your live events of the day. I want to show you some of the story topics you can expect to get this morning, giving you a live look there at the White House. As we know, the race to the White House is on this morning. We have the very latest as it relates to President Joe Biden. As we know, he recently dropped out of the upcoming presidential race, and we know that he has endorsed VP Kamala Harris, who has already started her campaign. We'll also be following the very latest on that assassination attempt against former President Donald Trump, giving you a live look there at the U.S. Capitol. And if you tuned into our coverage yesterday, you know there was fiery testimony as well as fiery questions and answers that were given. Day two will take place today. Still no word, though, if the Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle will be in attendance. We're also following the very latest of the Israel-Hamas war, now giving you a live look out in Jerusalem, Israel. And that's where we begin this morning as we continue to give you the most up-to-date information. As the Israel-Hamas war continues to escalate overseas, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is preparing to seek more support from U.S. members of Congress. His upcoming remarks come at a time when the American political landscape and the race for the White House has undergone a massive shift. Fox News senior national correspondent Kevin Cork joins us in Washington with the very latest. Some residents at Sunset Lake Community received this notice saying the landlord is terminating their lease agreement in 30 days. And notice I said some residents because others tell me they never even received the notice and had to hear about the news from other neighbors. Nevertheless, they are fed up, and tonight they say they're fighting back. The sun isn't really shining in the Sunset Lake mobile home community from continuous issues on the property.
We've went weeks at a time without water, and we get threatened that the water will be off longer if we say anything.
To now close to 100 tenants receiving this notice, saying the landlord is terminating their lease in 30 days.
Don't know what we're going to do. It's very expensive to move a trailer. It's expensive. You know, a lot of places aren't even allowing trailers to be put there anymore.
The news bringing some to tears and leaving others outraged.
We have to move our home, and I have nowhere to put it.
Scrambling to figure out what they will do for shelter.
Trying to keep a happy face for my kids, but honestly worried and anxious inside, trying to figure out what I'm going to do.
Trying to get answers, we went to the management office on the property.
Have a great day.
Here, Mr. Tucker.
Have a great day. Get off my property.
The guy then sped away, not a surprise to the tenants.
He's a slumlord, basically.
Wanting to know if there was any way to fight this issue, KATV reached out to legal counsel.
The rights of the residents are going to depend on a few different things here. First of all, they're going to depend on whether the residents are buying or renting their homes. In general, those who are buying their homes are going to have a lot more rights than those who are renting.
A fine line of legality and ethics, one that residents hope the landlord and owner can put more thought into before they are left homeless.
How he could sleep at night, how he can do this to all these families that have been paying his bills you know, yeah, he was the landlord, but we've been feeding money into his pockets, and he's just basically like, good luck, thanks for nothing.
It started outside with the N-word. We called our supervisor, and when we came upstairs with him, that's when it escalated. He started with the racial slurs again, and one of their guys pushed my coworker. So when he pushed him and we pushed back, two of them unholstered their weapons, about to draw down on us.
A terrifying experience for 5-year parking patroller Dietrich Bell, all happening while trying to issue a parking ticket to local bail bondsmen.
The cops came and they took a statement from me, my coworker, and my supervisor, and they said they had had one other incident up there with them before.
I contacted the owner of SBC Bail Bond, Victor Yanito. He says Bell's accusations are false, despite video evidence and a police report.
Obviously, curses were exchanged when people argue with each other, vulgar words are thrown. He putting his hand on the gun. But we're trained better than that. We don't just pull our gun just on anybody.
As a parking patrol officer, Bell works for the Downtown Development Authority. I sat down with the executive director of DDA, Liz Swain, asking what's being done so this doesn't happen again.
People do act badly when they get tickets, and guns are legal. People can do open carry, they can do concealed carry. You know, that's a discussion for another day.
Bell says Swain's response doesn't surprise him.
She played a babe in the woods like she got blinders on to the world. Oh, I don't think they're racist. They just don't like anybody. No, they racist because the cops say they're racist.
He hopes his experience encourages DDA to do a better job protecting employees and not turn a blind eye to racism.
We've had other incidents downtown where people have waved guns. We've had other incidents where people have said hateful and hurtful things. Unfortunately, this is not the first time someone downtown has used that word, and unfortunately it won't be the last time.
Abigail Wells inspires us all. No high school student expects to hear news of having to get their leg amputated, but Abigail chose to make the best out of an unfortunate situation. This is how Abigail Wells starts her day.
I just use some alcohol spray to make it easier and spray it in. And then just push it.
Having to put on her leg after finding out she had a tumor in the 9th grade.
Usually a sports injury would either go down or subside, but it never did. And that's when we noticed that it just was abnormal. It was hard as a rock. It wasn't mushy.
The tumor, later diagnosed by doctors as osteosarcoma.
It's a bone cancer. It's actually more common than people might think. Usually you would have to get a bone replacement, but I had to end up getting an amputation because of it.
But Abigail didn't let her loss of a limb keep her down.
Then I started looking at the Paralympics, and I started looking at Hunter Woodall up in Fayetteville, and saw that he was able to keep running despite having amputation. So I started looking at cool designs I could have on my prosthetics and stuff. So that's how I started. I tried to find the light in this situation.
By 11th grade, she was back on the track, training with her teammates.
I was amazed.
Eventually taking her situation and running with it.
Go, Abby! Go, Abby! Go, girl! After she ran the first race a couple of weeks ago, she was crying. She ran the 100 meters, and I thought, are you hurting? And I put my arm around her. I said, are you okay? She said, yeah. And tears were streaming down her face, and she said, I never thought I'd be able to do this again.
Tears of joy falling down her face, proving to herself and others that with hard work, anything is possible.
She's an inspiration to everybody.
Just being able to run is a blessing.
Abigail says she will continue to run, hopefully one day going to Paris for the Paralympics.